See this episode's show notes for our unique promo code to get up to 2 months of free podcasting service with Libsyn when you sign up for a new account. Get your show on Apple and Spotify, get helpful stats, and all the support you need to sound your very best.
This is Jed MacKay, and you're listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Yes, welcome back, Looney listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. Yes, we are still around.
We're around. We're back from the dead.
We are back from the dead, resurrected.
Back from the city of the dead, I should say.
You're listening, of course, with two of your High Priests of Khonshu, Rebecca and Ray. Rebecca, oh my gosh, it's been a while.
It's been a while, but like, just so everyone understands, there's been some family stuff going on. There's been Comic-Cons going on. There's been work going on. I don't think we've ever had a break this long. I should say that you've ever had a break this long. And I'm not saying you, but you do all podcasts where I just come in for these new issue ones. So apologies to everyone, but it has been for good reason. At first we were having problems with some scheduling. And we still got a little bit. Now we're doing catch up. You may still get a few Ray solos to get back on track, but hopefully that'll be soon.
Yeah, you're gonna have to bear with me there. Listen, Rebecca, I dare say it's probably not entirely correct, but yeah, I mean, I just said we've never had this long. I think this is the first time we ever have had to really play catch up with the issues.
I think we've been like a week behind before.
A week behind, but not this time.
So apologies to everyone. There's been medical stuff. There's been other stuff. It happens. It's life. Where
exactly. And
hopefully everyone understands. And we've missed you all. Like I've been
absolutely.
trying to keep on the. I've been trying to keep up on Facebook and on Discord, and it feels like. It feels like just having gone missing a little bit, but in a good way sometimes.
Oh, and a huge shout out to the likes of Mario, Digicom, and Brian, Loonies, just in our group. Just keep on posting stuff. Yeah, just really appreciate it. And sorry I can't be there and stuff. And Rebecca, I mean, like, you've popped in here and there in Discord and on Facebook, so it's really, really cool. Thanks a lot. I mean, that's the whole reason, I guess, for this. It's not really so much the podcast, Rebecca. It's about generating this love for Moon Knight and creating a really cool community.
It's keeping in touch. It's the community. It's cool. I mean, like, we've talked about it numerous times how cool it is to have a really good Moon Knight run going on to help that. But there's always sometimes life gets in the way.
Yeah. And having said that, have missed immensely my chats with you, Rebecca.
Yeah, so I've missed it as well.
Brings a smile to my face.
So everyone knows, in between this time, it's probably like the time that we've chatted least in between a podcast as well.
Yes.
Like because of everything else going on. So there's just been very little sort of, hey, how you doing? Like this is happening. Hey, how you doing? This is happening. Can you do this day? Can you do that day? And so it's just it's really nice to see your face and chat again.
Yeah, I have been.
You missed the whole period when my headset broke. I've got a new monitor now.
Good. Last I think last week. Sorry.
No, guys. At one point there would have been can't record, got no headphones.
I think last we spoke, you were at your sister's, and there was a not dodginess, but I think an unsurety about the microphone situation, all that sort of
broke.
Stuff. So okay. You have to put it directly.
That's when it broke. Taking it down to my sister's is what broke it.
Bugger.
Yeah. So I came back. I was like, we have to get a new headset. So this one's not quite as good, but
I mean, not semi creepy at all, Rebecca. Whilst I haven't been able to get behind the mic, I've been listening. So I have been listening to yourself. It's just Rebecca's doing well. She's doing well on Iron Fist. She's doing well on DCAU. So
very contentious films come up on the DCAU.
Yeah, exactly. But it is great to be able to see you again, Rebecca, and to chat about stuff, and to actually connect again with Loonies through this podcast. A huge thank you, of course, to our patroonies, those that are still with us. Thank you so much for keeping the lights on. I have again frozen the patron. For December, again, it's kind of like a semi thing towards the end of the year, and basically because of our reduced activity. So just wanted to, turn it off for a while. It's still absolutely grateful, obviously, to you, to everyone. But yeah, just a little reprieve towards the end of the year. So everyone can buy that, that extra Christmas pudding, or the Christmas pie. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, listeners, we do, as I said, we're doing a bit of catch up. So Rebecca and I are looking at Moon Knight 28, and you're probably going, "Huh, that old news?"
Yeah. That one, but we've not had a chance to chat about it, and I think it's issue definitely worth the time.
Yeah,
we don't want to skip it, so
No, not at all. No. Especially as it's kind of the first part of what is looming.
The last days of Moon Knight.
Yeah. So should we get stuck into it, Rebecca?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. As mentioned, there it is, 28. So Rebecca, I mean, this is pretty cool. It's, as you're saying, the last days of Moon Knight on the cover there, and we have looming Black Spectre, who look, we know as well as is the big bad and is coming, but
no spoilers. Issue 29.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, we will cover it. Don't you worry. But nice cover here, just with Moon Knight and Hunter's Moon, who has been more featured in the previous issues in the lead up. I guess there's always that speculation. Oh, actually, Rebecca, before we get into this, you said there's a bit of news, right?
Yes, sorry. For those in America, the new Marvel Collector Core box available through Amazon has a Moon Knight unmasked pop.
Yes, I saw that. That's right. Yeah. That was one of the last things. That looks so cool. It's got Stephen.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, Stephen/Mark with the white eyes.
Yeah. It's
so
very cool. I can't get it. They don't ship to the UK. My brain's switched off.
I'm going to have to see, Rebecca. I think generally our store Zing tends to get those sorts of things, like even the collector. So, we'll see what I can chuck into your stocking if possible. But no, look, I haven't got a visual of it. Loonies, if you are part of the Discord, please jump in. Was it in Discord or Facebook, Rebecca?
I chucked it in Discord because I saw it in the middle of the night on Twitter. And I was like, oh, here, just dump it here. It's easier than me to open Facebook as to just chuck something in Discord, because I usually have it open. And I think I've just put it in with, I just saw on Twitter, no idea. And then we discussed whether it was real or not, and then Funko announced it. So I should probably, I can put that in the group. So
no, but I mean, if Loonies have access to Discord, go check it out. It's in the Looney Bin from our What Oracle channel of our Discord server. But we'll post it up on our other social media platforms as well. It looks really cool. I mean,
the only thing I'll say is I can't get the link to Amazon to work because it keeps taking me to Amazon UK. So I'm just gonna tweet a link to the tweet. I'm just gonna put that. Oh, you can't because there's no. I'll get it sorted. Don't you worry. I'll do that.
We'll get it sorted. It's a very handsome figure. A little shout out to Orion. He's mentioning like it's because there are so many Moon Knight Funkos now. I think he's kind of having trouble finding a spot.
He said he's got 9 and they're all in a nice little row. And I was like, I'm quite jealous of the collection because I didn't do that. I limited myself to the ones I wanted the most.
Yep.
At the time.
Oh my God, Rebecca, there are other things as well. Like I was looking through it, and we've popped it in the Facebook group here and there. There's a Khonshu backpack. It's a mini backpack that looks pretty funny. There's another one, which is a mini backpack. I saw it on I think it's Zing, no, Pop Culture over here in Australia.
Is there? Nice.
It's a multiple Moon Knight figures, like just pictures of multiple Moon Knights on the backpack,
cool.
which looks pretty cool. And there's this other figure. It's kind of like what do they call it, Rebecca? Is it like a cheesy figure where it's like a baby version of Moon Knight?
I don't know. That sounds terrifying to me. A baby version of Moon Knight. I know it's cute and everything, but if you think of the trauma he has, it's just like there's something weird to me about cuting him up too much or babyfying him a bit. But having said that, I'm up for it.
Yeah, of course. Oh, and also as well, I mean, while we're here, let's talk a little bit about the collection. Rebecca, a friend of mine who's a big Legos fan, it was very surprising. She came back, she visited our place, and she presented a mini. Is it the minifigures, Mr. Knight? I've got the little.
Oh
Mr.
yes,
Knight
yeah, the Mr. Knight one, nice.
Which is pretty cool. I've got about 3 unopened boxes, which I have bought periodically when I take Finn to the toy store. But I don't know. But you've got them, right? And you've got.
I was lucky. I bought 5. I think I was going to buy 4. Then I bought 5, and I got Mr. Knight, Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, and then She-Hulk.
Did you get Beast?
And I can't remember what the other one is. No, I didn't get any of the X-Men. So this was the funny thing is I said to someone, I was very tired when I was opening them. I opened them very quickly, and I was like, oh, the other one's Wolverine. And it wasn't. That was the Werewolf by Night one. And what it is because the little leaflet in the box is closed to Wolverine. I just saw that and assumed the figure was Wolverine. But when I went and opened it later, because she was going to have Wolverine, I was like, no, it's Werewolf by Night, and I'm keeping it.
Yes, of course. Werewolf by Night.
Because I was like, if I was going to get a third one after the Moon Knight, and look, I love the whole set, but I am not into the whole. Like, I would have loved the 2 Hawkeyes. But it's a lot of money for
and to go.
I really wanted the Moon Knights, and I'm very happy. So
I mean, and it's one of those ones where you have to search for it, right? You randomly get it, so you don't know, and there's a little bit of effort involved. So, and a bit of, as you say, money involved. As well, Loonies, before we go on to, I've flicked it onto the first page for those that can see the video. A huge thank you to my fellow High Priests of Khonshu, Rebecca. She told me it was coming years ago. We've had a long lost Declan Shalvey. Was it Declan Shalvey? I'm still gutted at that. I can't believe there's someone.
The first time I ever went to Thought Bubble, Declan Shalvey was there, and I had only 1 copy of his number 1 Moon Knight. Because I bought it in trade. I wasn't wasn't really thinking, and I just got it in trade. I had this 1 copy that I'd picked up. I was like, I'll get it signed for Ray. And it's the only thing of mine that has ever gone missing in the post. And I didn't tell Ray about it because I was like, it'll be a real surprise. He'll just show up. And then he never said anything about it. Well, Ray, first of all, Ray said nothing about it. And everything I sent to other people had got there. And I was like, Ray, did you get anything?
Ray, nope. You bastard. You just took the gift.
Are you not going to mention it? And anyway, so it went missing in the post. And eventually I had to say to him, not only did I lose the signed copy, but I also pretty much just lost this number 1 issue of the Ellis Shelby Moon Knight, and so even if it hadn't been signed, that's annoying. So this year, Jeff Lemire was there.
Yes.
So people who followed me for a while know I have a Greg Smallwood signed issue 10 of the Lemire one, which I bought off his website, and then it took 3 or 4 years for my friend in America to send it to me, to the point where I was like, can you literally just send me the Moon Knight stuff? So I wasn't sure it existed until it arrived. And I was like, okay, the one thing I need to do is whatever else I get Jeff to sign, he has to sign this Moon Knight so I can have Smallwood and Lemire. And I was like, so because I'd bought it off Smallwood's site, that means I've got a spare issue 10. I know what I could do with this.
Oh, you're so kind. Yeah.
Yes.
And thankfully it has arrived. And Rebecca, seriously, I think that Declan Shalvey long lost issue, probably like only one or two things that I think have never arrived for me. Like generally, I think Australia Post is pretty good, but I think there must have been a Moon Knight fan.
I know, right?
Working for Australia Post, and they're kind of like leafing through it,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Someone has this signed issue somewhere, but no, Jeff was lovely, and I told him about the podcast, and he was like, "Oh, really?" And
that's so cool.
I was too nervous to ask him to record anything. Sorry, so no, no. And then asked me about the Moon Knight TV show, and we were talking about the Moon Knight TV show.
That
for a while,
is awesome.
which I thought was kind of interesting thing for him to just start talking, like rather than saying you're enjoying the current run, what did you like best about it, who's your favorite character, it was literally what do you think of the show. So we talked about that for a bit, and then obviously he had a massive line, so I wasn't gonna keep him for too long.
I mean, I can maybe kind of read between the lines there and just assume a lot, because I read an article with Jeff Lemire, and he was talking about his bad experience with Sweet Tooth, I think.
Oh, really?
And just working on a TV show, and how he said that, I think he's recently returned to comics, and how he said he just feels so happy to be going back to comics.
I did see him say that he didn't want to do too many more TV shows because he's doing Essex County. They showed the first episode of Essex County at Thought Bubble. So obviously that's coming out. But yeah, I'm sure I did see something that said he wasn't that interested in doing more TV.
He was, I mean, from the article, he was adamant, because he was saying it was just too stressful. The amount of rewrites and writing right up until production, and he just said, he never wants to do that. Well, he said he never wants to do that.
I really love Sweet Tooth on TV as well.
Yeah, well, he must have poured a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but it probably was one of those things that he just didn't have a good time doing. But as a finished product, I mean, it probably doesn't show that. But yeah, so that's what I'm assuming why he probably asked about Moon Knight, as well as, of course, they did lean into his run.
I mean, he said he had fun with it. I said, I thought they'd made some interesting changes, but I enjoyed it. And it was just, and I was like, it's a very nice conversation, because I'm not always that great at talking to people, and I was literally there with not very much to sign, and it was really weird, because I think I assumed there'd be this huge queue for him, and my friend kept saying, "No, it'll be fine. It's never like that at Thought Bubble," and she's not wrong. It's very rarely like that at Thought Bubble. And we went to talk to Alex Packnadell, who was who I know relatively well. And Jeff Lemire is sitting next to him at this unmarked table that doesn't say Jeff Lemire. He's literally just sitting there, and I'm like, "It's Jeff, right?" And he's got this little queue, and I go to join the back of the queue, and all my friends are there right in front of me. So I didn't even have to push in. They were like, we all just met at the Jeff Lemire, and then lots of people came afterwards. But I was like, of all the people to not have a banner and not have any circumstance. And I was like, it's probably like one of the ones everyone wants to be here for. So it was very sweet and very sort of kind of humble of him, because I think the other biggest name there was probably Jason Aaron, and he only did time signings, like if you queue up between 4 and 5, and I was like, can't bother.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
And he sketched in everyone's books.
Wow.
That's
great.
So now my Moon Knight has a little sketch by Greg Smallwood, little Moon Knight by Jeff Lemire. You got the little Moon Knight eyes as well. So I was pretty happy.
Really special. No, I can't thank you enough, Rebecca. I mean, that's really cool. And I think as well, I mean, just again going back to Jeff talking about Moon Knight, it's probably because you mentioned about the podcast, and he, I guess he knows, like he just wants to know what Moon Knight fans think of the TV show, because it's so different, right?
And you're right. I mean, maybe because he was showing Essex County that night, it was in his head. But also, asking someone that I don't know what else he would ask, like, what's your favorite bit? Because it's so long since he's done Moon Knight. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but
as you said, he could be asking about the current run and what do you think? Where do you think Moon Knight is? Yeah, so no, very interesting. And I've just got to also mention Rebecca did slip in a beautiful Spider Woman as well.
I got told that I had that the shipping would cost me the same if I wanted to add an extra comic, and I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, I know what Ray could have. I bought this once thinking this is pretty.
It
I
is.
don't know
It is.
it is. It's gorgeous. It's like one of my favorites. Yeah.
So no, I can't thank you enough, Rebecca. It's absolutely brilliant. This is the sort of the loony kind of it's fantastic. So thank you, Rebecca.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so we are at the last days of Moon Knight. I just want to rattle off the credits before getting your impressions, Rebecca. And I know that you and I have read this a little while ago.
Yeah,
so
a little while ago.
We might flick through it just to refresh our memories. Writer Jed MacKay, of course, artist Federico Sabbatini. He's doing a lot more of. I think he's doing most of the last few issues. I'm assuming Capuccio's maybe gearing up for Vengeance.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're trying to get a bit ahead with that.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, look, I don't mind Sabbatini at all. Again,
no, and I think he's got better and better, and
and I'm really happy because I mean, this is living in the Moon Knight bubble. I'm assuming that Sabbatini, this exposure for him and to such a successful title, because we know Moon Knight is actually doing really well.
Yeah.
It's great to have lifted his profile, I think.
So I was just looking at something, another little bit of news. So volume 5 of our current run will be called The Last Days of Moon Knight, apparently. And it's coming out the week of my birthday.
There's always something
Moon Knight.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's always something cool happening on your birthday, around your birthday.
What can I say? I mean, it's probably true of comics generally, but yeah.
And Oscar Isaac, sharing the same.
Well, of course. Thank you. I forgot about that. But thank you.
So Federico Sabbatini, of course, Rachelle Rosenberg on the colors, helming the colors, letter of VC's Cory Petit. And then we have the cover art, Steven Segovia and Rachelle Rosenberg doing the art, which we mentioned with Hunter's Moon, a very different looking Black Spectre that we've been introduced to, and Moon Knight as well. We've also got variant covers by Elizabeth Tork, Inhuik Lee, Javier Garon, and Jesus Bertov.
Yeah, I mean, these all have an insane number of variants, but
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine 30? I'm assuming 30 is going to be crazy. Same with Vengeance and Moon Knight on number 1.
Yeah.
And Nick Klein as well, rounding that off. And Tom Brevoort, of course, on editing duties. So, Rebecca, I know, before we get into the recap for us, for out of us, from what you remember, what did you make of this issue 28?
I really enjoyed it. I thought, after, I think I said that the previous issue, maybe the previous 2, but I think maybe just the previous one, I'd found a little bit holding pattern. And then this one, I think, moved forward. So anything with Mark and Tigra is always going to cheer me up. So, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too as well. It had and we'll go through when we go through. Again, sorry, Loonies, and for those listening to the podcast, there is a video of this episode. I will make it available. So just go check out YouTube, and we'll be going so you can see the comic book. What I did find, Rebecca, was there were a lot of cinematic moments, and again, we use that kind of comparison. It's the only way I can kind of think of, because it's such an action piece. We have 8 balls. 8 Ball's Jet, which I think is hilarious.
I love 8 Ball's Jet. I think we all wanted him to become part of the team. He's part of the team. Yeah. He has a helmet shaped like an 8 ball, and he's flying a jet. I mean,
it's a Q-tip, isn't it, or something? What is it? What the jet? It's like a.
I think
it's. Oh, isn't it? I thought it was meant to be like the chalk of a. You know how you.
Oh yeah. Cube. Yeah. Maybe a cue ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It's just a little triangle thing.
It's just a triangle. Yeah, I don't
know. No. I think
it should have been a rack. It should have been like a triangle rack.
I think we have to take it. It might have lost some aerodynamics in that instance. That's all I'm saying. I'm not a scientist, but But I appreciate your willingness to go for the bit there. No, it has to do with billiards.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it billiards or snooker? I don't know which one.
But yeah, I love the quality of it. It was really full on, and we'll get to it as well. I don't want to spoil it straight away by saying, but overall, I really did enjoy it. Yeah, Greer, Tigra is really cool in it as well. Hunter's Moon. I mean,
everyone gets a little moment. Like we literally get to check in with the whole team from Soldier onwards, which is just we haven't really
even
for a
Soldier
while.
as well.
Yeah.
And also, oh my gosh, I'm thinking, recalling in my head, we have Zodiac as well, which is pretty cool. Because he kind of goes. We're jumping a bit here. So listeners, we don't have like a synopsis. This is very loose. Let's just say that it's the festive part of the year. So Rebecca and I have made it a little bit a bit more of a relaxed thing. So we're assuming, since this is a kind of an old-ish issue, we're assuming you have read this. Quickly, Rebecca, in a nutshell, Moon Knight finds Black Spectre, and that's it.
Yeah,
they kind of chase him down and they find him, but things happen along the way.
Yeah, that's the small bit about it. So
yeah, but a great, again, Sabbatini, the beginning, what an opening as well. We've got like the jet at full thrust, 8-Ball's jet, and they're kind of heading towards where they think Black Spectre is. They're being attacked, and it reminded me a little bit of, not that it's the same, but in the Houston run when Moon Knight pilots a plane into Taskmaster, because they basically go through a side of the building.
I mean, I shouldn't, but poor Taskmaster. I do love him, and he really. This is the one. I mean, we said it before. Like Moon Knight is really where he has some of his worst losses.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I just say I'm glad 8-Ball is, for all intents, he's on the team now, isn't he? He's part of it.
He's in the family.
And also the camaraderie now between Hunter's Moon and Moon Knight. They refer to each other as brother a lot, which is cool. So they're kind of fully, they're fully in the zone now as Fists of Khonshu. There doesn't seem to be any more, like Hunter's Moon isn't harboring any more ill will.
No, and I would say that it happened quickly.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that it happened quickly. Like I wouldn't want an extended, let's all fight, let's all do this. It's like it's cute.
Yeah. And over here, the Midnight Mission, look, that's the team right there, Rebecca. You've got Hunter's Moon, Tigra, Moon Knight. You've got Reese in here as well, and 8-Ball. That is your motley crew, right? Yeah. And Soldier on reconnaissance, or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
So he's got a pretty cool network. And again, this has been established through Jed MacKay. Not a hint of Marlene or Frenchie or Crawley, but don't mind, So, I know that's probably a bit controversial to say, Rebecca, but we love them as well.
Well, of course we love them, but I think it's a perfect example of how you move on without trashing those characters, but not necessarily needing to rely on them and actually creating a new team for him. There's a reason for Marlene not being around.
Exactly.
There's a reason for all of them not being around. And the new team Jed's made compelling. So I think it's sort of testament to how good and how successful the run's been. I think it's also a reason why it's been successful. And it's kind of a show of what you can do.
I think, sorry, Rebecca, and I think I kind of am reiterating this because there's a sense of like we're heading towards the end of this kind of era, this series, and so I guess it's all kind of a little bit like, I don't know what you call it, nostalgia or something, coming back and just I'm going through these points again. But it is cool to see this new team, and I'm just so happy of how it's like developed and how we've actually got Tigra. Like, I just keep on thinking of World of Tiger from X or Twitter, how happy they must be, because
I know. And like,
I mean,
obviously,
for so long.
We've also got this thing hovering over us that we're not really sure what happens to her in Vengeance of the Moon Knight. So we'll see.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what happens to any of them, but I'm assuming. No. I mean, I would make some assumptions that Reese and etc. will be there. Whether we'll find out soon enough. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, because Tigra does play. There's an important bit in here with her.
Very
again,
important.
yeah, like I draw back to the kind of cinematic feel because we'll get to it anyway. But they're running, and she gets caught on a trap. But this moment here that we're looking at, this is a conversation where Mark, and again, I think it's Moon Knight, obviously trying to protect those that he loves. So he's trying to take her out of the picture, but she's not having a bar of it. She kind of wants, I want to be in it. I don't hide, I hunt, she says. So I think that's great and a good testament to her character as well.
And also to him saying, okay, like,
true.
I'm not going to come down and say, no, you're not coming with me.
See, I think in the past he might have done that.
I think in the past he might have done as well.
Yeah, so I really like how Jed's he's given Moon Knight some growth here because we all know the mistakes he's made, and he does. They've called it out here as well, like how it's always repetitive for him. He goes through these cycles. That's why Frenchie is like sick to death of him, so to speak, because he just falls into the same trap, and he tries to protect anyone, like was it Rob, his partner, even just like get away from him because he's going to do the same thing to you that he's done to me. So yeah, I love it how Moon Knight he's grown here. Oops, he's grown here. Of course, we get. So we get June 25. We had that milestone issue where we do get a fair few of the rogues that were peppered throughout the series, and so we get Sarnak again here. With a lot.
I mean, he was always going to be the one that we were going to see again because he's the one most in cahoots.
Yes, and he was in that panic room. He handed himself in, so you knew that, like, oh god, that you might as well just let him go because they're not going to hold him in a cell. So he won that. He won that little face-off. I can't remember what issue that was, 24 or 23. But he's back, and he's got a whole lot of minions, as you do. Like minions, just
they just grow on trees.
They just grow on trees. I mean. Is there a waiting list to get minions? I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, but they're there for the likes of Tigra and Hunter's Moon to cut them down. So, Jed, obviously there's a lot of action here, but Jed doesn't linger on some of it, which I don't mind. Like generally, sometimes I have a criticism of not Jed's, but just some modern comics in general where they kind of gloss over the.
But
action.
I think it is a Jed thing as well. We've said it before, is that like he likes to move on and keep things moving. Not necessarily like linger on some of the fights.
That's true. Well, Jed, I mean, I was thinking about the other day, Rebecca. He does have that technique, Jed, where he kind of contrasted both. So you have scenes like with some characters contrasted with like the secondary plot where it's full on action. And Jed, he's admitted that as well. It's just a good technique. So there is a lot of action here as well, and he's got to get through a lot, I think. This is only part one of the last days of Moon Knight, so he's we're racing here to get somewhere. And the reveal of Black Spectre, I mean, you could argue tracking down Black Spectre, it would take a whole, I don't know, 6 to 12 issues again. I mean, you could do a whole thing.
I think back in the day, they could have. I think we tend to move faster now.
Yes.
But I quite like that that we've even had any sort of delay on it. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Speaking of important kind of development here, what we get here is a reveal as well, which is awesome. Moon Knight having a chat with Reese, essentially saying at the end, if all goes sour, she gets a midnight mission, which is pretty cool. Successor, like in that sense. And remember as well, I mean, she reminded us in this issue that she has been training. She's been training with Blade. She has known to hone her vampiric abilities. So she's formidable in the field. But Moon Knight has I guess greater designs for her. And remember, she's quite young. So again, there's that kind of protective
she's
quality.
Still very young, and she's now his beneficiary in for midnight missioning.
Yeah. So I mean, we do jump. We jump from scene to scene here because, again, like I think Jed wants to keep the pace cracking, and yeah. So when I first read this, Rebecca, I was kind of like, "Oh, this is cool!" Like, and we get the quick, like, 1-page conversations, and then all of a sudden here, like, they go and they're looking for Black Spectre, and Tigra finds herself on top of a booby trap. She steps on something. Her heightened senses can sense something. She goes, hold up. She goes, I think I've stepped on something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is one of those mines. I don't know what you call them.
They're just it is a mine. It's just like, isn't it? It's just a foot trigger, a floor plate trigger.
Floor plate, yeah. Just like in Minecraft. Anyway,
and in real landmines, but yeah,
and in real landmines.
But then we get a quick mask off for Mark.
Yeah, we do.
And can I just say that from the beginning of the run, where he had that nasty hair, and then Stephen went and got a haircut. Now he has beautiful romantic novel leading man hair.
He
floofy,
does.
Bit of a curl.
What was that? Floofy.
It is. It's floofy hair.
Floofy. Yeah, he does. He's like, I know what you mean.
Yeah. They have a proper rom-com kiss goodbye, so to speak. Because we know it's the last days of Moon Knight.
Yeah.
So like,
you know. But I mean, just to further that as well, like you get that little panel of her in the bottom right as well, just kind of looking. There is a sense of weight to this because you're right. I mean, we know the whole title, the whole thing is the last days of Moon Knight. And we see later as we go through the pages, he takes a bit of damage, so to speak, and he still keeps on going. And I remember thinking, oh, okay, that's I know he's gung-ho and I know he doesn't mind to take a bit of damage, but you know, there's a level of how much you should take before facing the big bad. So he goes in and he takes on more of the minions. They're all armed to the teeth. In true Moon Knight style. I love this page by Sabbatini as well. We've got the 9 panels subdivided equally in the whole page, and beautiful colors again by Rosenberg. Just silent, just Moon Knight fighting his way through. But he does take some hits. He gets stabbed from behind with a sword.
Full on. I mean, that's a great. And can we just talk about the coloring of that page?
Yeah, the coloring,
the fighting page,
awesome.
Absolutely incredible work again. And like we can't say enough how much and how great the coloring is. But that page particularly was like just. And if you think about it, there's almost no background. The only background is really in the bottom, the last panel. There's a little bit at the top, but like there's really in the last panel is the only time we get any sense of space. The rest of that we're like fully in the scene of the fight. He's stabbed in the back. He's got that. They've got that. So the mace with the nails coming out of it. There was one in Fargo this week, and they called it a zombie killer. So I'm going to call it a zombie killer now. But yeah, it's like a brutal fight, blood, throwing punches. And the color just makes it, and the fact that it's different. I mean, I don't think they've done. I wonder if they've done what they did in. So there's a very famous Iron Fist fight. Where the color of the background of the panel showed who was winning in each punch.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Since we've got here traffic light colors, we have green, amber, red. I wonder if there's something to it. But either way, it just pops amazingly. There's no green on the top line, though.
It does. I mean, I'm just thinking we've come along. Well, you know, artists and creators have come a long way, haven't they, Rebecca? Yeah. We've covered the classic issues, and look, I know it's a different era, different time, but there are those moments you see in those older comics, like in the Mensch run, where it is just color in the background, but it's really flat. Now, if you look at this, added onto this, Sabbatini's, I think, his manipulation of direction. So you've got really like a random assortment of where your eye is led, you know, either with the line markings in the background.
It makes it for an incredibly kinetic experience that you get the sense that there's a lot of fighting going on to get them to all these pages.
Yeah, which you don't get in the older classic comics, and so
and it's so bright. Like You just don't get to see colors this bright all that much. I don't know.
Oh, exactly. And I like the use of the bright colors there. There's the panel at the bottom middle when he headbutts someone. I guess it's that pop, so you get that bright
that's
yellow.
beautiful as well.
So that sticks out. But just the direction, like you see from the top, you go to the side, up. There's
down.
Up, down.
Yeah, true.
It's just really good. So that was one of the highlights, I think, for both of us, I guess. For this issue.
Just mind blowing. And then the next page, how the whole team's doing.
Yeah, they're all in their different spots. Moon Knight is blood splattered. Yeah, I forgot that 8-ball was in the ducks.
Banging his head on the ducks. I mean, like as we say every time we see them on a TV show, like it's a good job the ducks are so big. Like
exactly. They're huge,
and you can fit his big 8-ball helmet as well. Like,
exactly.
I just imagine it like making all these
clunk,
like
clunk,
bang,
clunk,
bang,
clunk.
bang.
Yeah. But they're doing the obviously Tiger as well. How terrible would that be? You're rooted to one spot. You just can't.
A nightmare.
Move. Yeah, terrible. So she's just waiting for, I guess, the situation to resolve and for someone to come back for her.
And then we get blinged up Zodiac.
How cool is this? And we know Jeff's love / hate of Zodiac. Like Jed, sees him as an utter bastard, which he is.
Yeah.
But you can tell the love that Jed has writing for Zodiac. He gets to really kind of let loose. So Zodiac, he's got bling. He's friggin' strutting down. He's got a weird like sniper rifle or something at the back.
It looks like a cross between a sniper rifle and a crossbow.
Yeah.
So sniper crossbow.
Sniper crossbow. But he's got a purpose as well. And beautiful colors from Rachelle Rosenberg as he comes in. But then we jump back to Moon Knight as well. And this is the thing. So this is the start of it because he finds himself face to face with the Black Spectre, who's always kind of looked a little bit obscure. I guess he's been in the shadow. You don't really get a good look at him. I'd say, dare I say, sorry.
No, the window he's in front of looks a bit Doctor Strangey, but it's not.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. The Sanctum Sanctorum. But actually, the best look that you get of him is in the front cover, I think.
And we know that they're not necessarily exact.
No, exactly. I love how Mark says, I've killed you like 2 or 3 times before. What's the difference here? But he's tattered. He's gone through like a swathe of minions. He's been stabbed. He's been zombie hit. So we don't know how this is going to be. You feel a bit for Moon Knight. The title is The Last Days of Moon Knight. So, and Black Spectre's no slouch. Even the old ones were no slouches as well. And this one, I think, is this the last page? This is Zodiac.
Yeah, it is.
So we know Reese is she's the custodian of the Midnight Mission. Everyone's out,
and we know she's there. We don't know where Soldier. I mean, we know he's scanning somewhere, but doing recon, probably near where Mark is. Yeah, but the Midnight Mission itself, got to remember, living thing.
Exactly. I was about to say, at first when I read this, I thought this was quite ominous because you know how dangerous Zodiac is. But then again, like, you know how dangerous the Midnight Mission is as well. Like,
and I don't know, it's still weighing on my, there's that outside chance that Zodiac is the new Moon Knight. So.
Oh, yeah. Because wasn't there, look... No spoiler.
So I was like nervous like you, but I was like, it kind of adds to that theory a tiny bit. I mean, I don't think that's. I keep talking with Mario about it, like on Facebook, and I think everyone agrees who the main contenders are for the potential new Moon Knight. And then I just throw in stupid ones like.
But we know
Zodiac and Randall, but I could make arguments for them both.
Yeah, and we know for sure. We know for sure it's been kind of confirmed with the solicit that it's not Hunter's Moon because I think one of the covers shows Hunter's Moon.
One of the covers shows them both. Yeah.
So I mean, so your theories are closer.
I don't know if it's I mean, I don't think they're my theories. Like, I think Soldier and Hunter's Moon were always the top tier theories. I think everyone would like it to be 8-ball. I don't think I'm the only one who would say I would like it to be 8-ball. my argument for Zodiac is that he wants revenge on Mark to such an extent that he wants to get Mark resurrected to have that revenge on him, which I think ties in with the titling Vengeance of the Moon Knight. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but I think the plot for Vengeance of the Moon Knight is going to be relatively straightforward, but with some, like, as in they have to free Khonshu so he can resurrect Mark.
Yep.
I think that's my complete speculation. But also, somebody argued the other day that it could be, and I'm not saying so. I've discounted all the it's a different altar because I think that's a little bit of a cop out. And I don't think that's something that would happen. I mean, I could again make an argument for it. I don't like it as much as I like some of the others. But somebody said it could be Mark, but with the resurrection gone bad, and they still have to free Khonshu to make the resurrection go well. So that's another outlier for me. That, and I would almost be happy with any of them. So
I've got, actually, Rebecca, one's just popped in my head. I've got one. I don't know if people have suggested it. I'm going to name to you, and I'm going to tell you why.
Go on.
How about Plesko?
Interesting idea.
He hasn't been. He was a Karnak cowboy. He rubbed shoulders with Mark. His death was not totally disclosed. He blew up in that building. Even if he did die, he could be resurrected. Why not Plesko?
Why not, indeed?
Oh, I'm going to throw that out there, Loonies. Yeah, what do you think, Loonies? I don't know. That just occurred to me because I'm just thinking of who, like, you know, just saying we've gone through every single person. Who was the supporting cast? Plesko isn't, but he has been mentioned a couple of times.
Oh, so... no, there is another guy. Who's the one that? Right, I've just got to look up his name. The one with the Rutherford. What's his name?
Oh, Rutherford Winner.
Yes, because he's a Jed creation. Is the other one I thought of a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I wonder if he could really, like. I mean, I trust that Jed would be able to do that, but that would be ballsy.
I think that's and look, and we are discounting like a female only because of what you're saying.
Only because of what I've seen of all the covers do not look like a female body. Otherwise Tigre and Reese would be right up there.
Exactly. So I've discounted that as well.
Maybe Reese would have dropped down one because of having to look after the Midnight Mansion.
Reese is a juicy one.
Such a juicy one, though. Such a juicy one. But
how cool would that be? Like a vampiric Moon Knight.
It'd be amazing. But I just the costume design, and it's not just the covers. It's seeing Capuccio's design sketches. Not a female body either. You know.
Oh, I guess we're gonna wait.
They don't have a tail. Number one.
Well, she can hide, you know, like Angel. She can tuck it away.
I mean,
like,
perhaps, but you know, we tend to see her with her tail out. So.
True. I know. She'd be a bit pissed off if it had to be.
I mean,
inhibited.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So okay, no, actually, though, Rebecca, how Rutherford Winner or Plesko, I reckon those would be really good choices. So, Loonies,
we would be laughing. We would be laughing.
We would be laughing. I hope if Jed is listening to this.
God, I hope it's revealed in issue 30 because aren't we supposed to be talking to Jed again after issue 30? It'd be very funny if we still had no idea and we just kept throwing these ideas at him.
It'd be fun. It is fun. And you've got to say, look, this is it's a fun kind of thing that Jed set up, of course. So we got to just wait and see. But like, this is where this issue ends. It's Zodiac, the Midnight Mission. Yeah, as I said, initially I thought this was a little bit scary, but now I'm not too scared because of the Midnight Mission itself. But it's still interesting to see how Zodiac, how it will play out.
he can still do a lot of damage. Like, I'm not saying, I don't know. It would be interesting to blow it up. Him versus the Midnight Mission, but it is still worrying because Reese is still there.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. So so that's the end of the issue, and we will get into the final hours of Moon Knight. This is, but at the time of this recording, 29 is out already, and we have a couple of weeks for 30. So we are really heading.
We are
plummeting towards the end.
Through.
Yeah. So I'm glad we kind of spent time on 28. Rebecca, what would you give? What would you give the last days of Moon Knight?
Do you know? I really
28?
like this one. This is going to be a 9 or a 9.5.
Wow!
I forgot we had to score them, but I really liked it.
Nice.
So I think there's something about touching in on everyone, and I love the art. I love the layouts and the color. It's just mind blowing.
Yeah. Oh, look, that's what we absolutely love about covering this, because we do have slightly different takes, and everyone's kind of different. Look, I totally agree with you as well, Rebecca. I going for about an 8 though. I still loved issue 25, which I know that you weren't totally over the moon with.
No, I can't remember. Like, that was the one I was away for, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I liked it. Yeah.
Okay, but like 25 for me was it was awesome. Everything leading up to it, of course, is still so cool as well, and just this whole thing of we're all guessing. Look, you can see, you can just feel that vibe of which, like, we're just excited to see what will happen.
It has really managed. Like, I was a little bit skeptical about it at first, but like it has really managed to sort of like get people talking and wondering and what's going on. And I've heard lots of people who don't read Moon Knight just going like, "What's going on with this?
Yeah,
who's it going to be?" There's a level of excitement there.
Yeah, and actually, there's a little bit of a benefit, Rebecca, of being so far behind in reviewing it, because we haven't got long to wait. The 20. I mean, you've got your issue already. 29.
I've read 29, so I'm just being extremely good about not saying anything about it.
You are being very good.
You are like pushing me to my limit.
Yeah,
but, like,
I might have stepped on your toes.
Yeah, no, I read 29 yesterday. Arrived. So
cool. Yeah, it's in my not inbox. It's in my like pull list standing order, whatever, at the LCS. I've just got to go. I'm going to pick it up on Sunday. Time of this recording is a Friday.
Yeah.
So I'll read it in a couple of days. And then we'll cover it. Both Rebecca and I will. So Looney's high praise for this issue. Go check it out. It's gonna be. It's one of the first steps in the end of such a great run. So it's got all of us kind of excited. I can't wait. So we'll have to see how we go. And like I said, we're playing a bit of catch up, but fear not, we will cover all of the issues. Next phase, I just want to say, I spoke with Rebecca beforehand as well, and I think just for a bit of catch up, and as Rebecca's alluded to, I might do a quick solo episode of I want to do it justice as well, of course, because David Pepose is such a great bloke, a great writer and creator. It's the last issue of City of the Dead, issue 5, so I'll be recording that in a couple of days, and then Rebecca, hopefully we can tee up a time. And we can do it all again for 29.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome before we do 30, which is again just in a couple of weeks. So, so Looney's absolutely, definitely check it out. If you haven't, let us know. Sound off. I've put up some discussion threads. I put up 20. Oh, actually, I put up 28 a while ago, and I think Mario had weighed in. So I just want to.
Find it.
Yeah, I just want to do justice to that. Bear with us. I've got this. I've just got to open it up now. And
I've got some more news while everyone's.
Please.
I was talking a while ago about the Hachette Marvel Legendary whatever. It's called Marvel. Let me just look it up. What it's called? Marvel the Legendary Collection. So they're repackaging of big Marvel things, like Fallen Sun, Death of Captain America, Planet Hulk, 7 Capital Cities of Heaven. So the first Moon Knight one they had was the bottom, but I just saw today while I was looking something up, they have another Moon Knight one, and it's a very recent issue, The Dream Demon.
Oh.
So that is Moon Knight 22 to 26 and 28 to 30 from the Mensch Sienkiewicz run.
Okay, right.
But sort of packaging it as one hardcover book. So
lovely.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And so I just spotted that now. So
cool.
Might once they go through, when they go 3 for the price of 2. I can get 2 Moon Knights now, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, awesome. I just checked as well. I do have Mario's thing teed up. I just got reminded as I was flicking through social media there, Rebecca. A big shout out to Scott Weatherly, Waxing and Waning, which is
yes, I wanted to mention that as well. Yes,
a collection of Moon Knight essays.
Yes.
So Scott has done really well to compile this. He asked, Scott is a great part of our community as well. Go check him out on 20th Century Geek as well. But Scott, and he's a huge Moon Knight fan, and he managed to get a couple of essays from Lena. So Lena is going to be featured in it. For those
Jonathan
that do know,
in it.
And Jonathan Sapsford as well. And Scott does an essay himself. There are interviews with with Bill Sienkiewicz and Chuck Dixon as well.
Yes, I've put it on my Christmas Secret Santa wish list, but if no one buys me it, I'll be buying it straight after Christmas. So just in case, I'm just waiting to find out if anyone will take the hint and buy me it, but if not, I will buy it as soon as after Christmas. So I definitely want to read it because
that looks so cool.
Yeah.
It's publisher Sequa Art or something like that. Rebecca, quite a good publisher. As well, so.
It's on Amazon, but I'm sure it's on plenty of other good booksellers. So
Waxing and Waning. So I'll put it in the show notes, and Scott reached out and want to have him on the show. So
that would be great. Maybe in the new year, give me a chance to read it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to be tied up. We're going to be tied up with issue 29 and 30. I think me saying New Year is pretty given, but I would love to. And it's you can get it on Kindle as well. So
it's so accessible
because I prefer to read digitally.
It's just so easy. Like you can carry a whole library in your bag with Kindle.
I don't get a cat on top of a book as well. So just from a sheer practical level, it's better for me. I mean, especially with comics, it's so much better for me. So
yeah. So a big shout out to Scott. Scott, you've done fantastic work, and the likes of Lena and Jonathan and all the others that have contributed. Can't wait to read it. It looks bloody awesome. So
we'll make sure we mention it at the front of the next episode because with the rest of the news. Because but I'm really glad you mentioned it.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I just kicking myself that we didn't mention it earlier.
Yeah. Me too.
So just to round off, I guess from one of our quotation marks. Feedback we got from Mario, and this was for issue 28, which we've just covered. And Mario said this issue is mostly setting things up, which is only to be expected as pieces are moved into place for the grand finale of this run. It's fitting then that the two games are being played. The one between Mark's team and this incarnation of Black Spectre has moved in somewhat predictable lines as his allies are peeled away by accident or misadventure, so that the ultimate confrontation will be him facing Black Spectre 3 alone. Pardon me. The other game that is being played intrigues me, however. Zodiac returns to the beginning, and Terry, of course we know, returns to the Midnight Mission to confront Reese. I can't help but wonder where he picked up the bling, though.
I know, right?
It's he had it made. That's crazy.
In prison.
In prison. Yeah, he had something smelted, and he got the gold done.
Yeah, he's like, I need a return to Moon Knight bling.
Exactly. Mario's picked up here, Rebecca, as well. Nice crossbow too. Loaded for vampires, perhaps. Yeah.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Good point. Yeah, good point. I can't say I know what's going to happen next, although there may be a few hints. First, Black Spectre 3 makes a comment about wanting to take another crack at Moon Knight, which suggests they fought before. That actually rules out a couple of the candidates for his identity, since Mark has never fought Plesko, for example. Okay, so Plesko's out as Black Spectre, but not as Moon Knight. Secondly, despite being told to lie low, 8-Ball is doing the classic air vent trope, which suggests that he may yet have a role to play in the final battle. Exactly.
That's true. Yeah.
On whose side? Oh, come on, Mario. I reckon he's on Moon Knight's side for sure. Surely.
I mean, that would be the biggest betrayal.
Oh, that would be
the biggest. I mean, forget Civil War. That would be, yeah. It'd be great though. Oh my, I would actually applaud it, but I'd be devastated at the same time.
I'd applaud it, but I'd feel very sad.
Yeah.
And finally, Soldier is unaccounted for, but I think we did see him. Who knows where he'll have an impact?
Yeah, we did see him. It says he's on reconnaissance, but it doesn't say where. So right. I'm not sure if he's like watching the Moon Knight mission or if he's watching where Mark's gone. So
that's true.
Yeah,
we'll have to see. Mario continues and talks about the art is, as always, excellent, although I do miss Capuccia's ghostly line work in spots, and there are a few places where details get lost. Still, Sabbatini has come a long way from his more cartoonish initial issues. It's good to see him again. I think Moon Knight looks fantastic. I think that, not to oppose you, Mario, but just to say that Moon Knight's cape and drapery and all that, same with Hunter's Moon, I think it looks awesome. Anyway, final score, I'm going to say a nice 8.5 out of 10. Very good. 1 point off for being set up and a half point for a couple of muddy panels. So thank you, Murray. He's got a slight addendum. I came across a comment that makes me wonder about the crack at you line. We didn't see the second Black Spectre in this issue, although he was part of the team in the previous one. The comment suggested that Ryan Trent, who's Black Spectre 2, might be wearing the Black Spectre 3 outfit in this one, which would allow for a big fight next issue, followed by a last-minute twist as the true Black Spectre reveals himself. I can buy it. So what do you reckon about that? That sounds really complicated, Rebecca.
That sounds a little bit complicated, but you know what? Yeah. I would take it.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty cool as well. I've got to be careful because I've read issue 29.
Yeah, Rebecca, of course. Yeah, so and Mario has as well by this stage.
Mario has at this, but not when he was commenting. So I'm not. I'll be non-specific. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Rebecca! I've got to read 29. Then this is all getting me very
stressed now.
Yeah. Like, my gosh, what has been revealed? Yeah. So, Mario, thank you so much for your comment, and thank you so much for your enthusiasm for Moon Knight. I mean, we're all chuffed to bits. We can't wait to see what happens. It's really cool.
Yeah,
indeed. Rebecca, before we go, any spectacles, anything that you'd like to shout out? I know that you're
mostly DCAU at the moment, so just chugging through things. We just did Injustice.
Okay. Well, there you go. I'm sure that will be an interesting listen.
Yeah.
Okay, so go check that out. Rebecca's on there with Alan. It's a great. I mean, Alan's awesome to listen to.
He loves them as well. He's so good, and I feel like each time I come on, and I'm just like, I'm not as keen about on this as you were.
It just breaks a little bit of his heart off.
Yeah.
No, terrible. But yeah, go check that out as well. I recently jumped on Capes and Lunatics as well. Watching the wearing the shirt. We did another Wondercast episode, so that should be out in a few weeks. Wonder Man. I've got a little bit of love for Wonder Man.
You have a lot of love for Wonder Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's a good thing. It's always a good thing.
Yeah, and the TV show's coming back. It's back in production, and we do a what if Wonder Man hadn't died when he first met the Avengers. So that's interesting. So go check that out. Keep your eyes peeled for Capes and Lunatics for that. As always, a huge thank you to our patroonies. Can't thank you enough, and our sponsors as well. CLZ Comics at collectors.com. And Dreamland Comics from Schoenberg, Illinois, who, Rebecca, we don't know if they still alive. Are they still anyway?
I don't know. Are they still giving you money? It's like
no. I mean, there is the discount. You can use a discount Moon.
Oh, that's right. It's a discount. Yeah,
to get your thing. But,
I have no idea, but I'm sure they would tell you if they weren't.
Yeah, I hope so. Anyway, any listeners, let us know if you have purchased anything. Rebecca, anything else before we go? Again, it's so cool to see you.
I mean, I'm hoping that we talk again pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm hoping
29. So yeah,
I'm pretty confident we can. Yeah. Until then, Looney listeners, thank you for listening, and as always, may Khonshu watch over the denizens of the night. Catch you later.
Take care.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information, or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.